Oh, are we live? Okay. Well, if you've already watched the one section I read tonight, sorry, such is life. So, thoughts on my mind, some things, I've been talking about. Man, we have to get some of our stuff together. Okay. I told you about Jared and his daughter having a good time. I've been kind of giving you updates periodically on Brother Ron from California. He made it. Okay, he's got some kind of medical background, anesthesiologist, whatever, retired as far as I know. Got more money than I do, I can guarantee you that, since I don't have anything. I have a couple nickels that I can rub together. I actually probably have 2 quarters I can rub together. Anyway, and Bonnie does something with IT. This was cool. Got a text. She said, well, what the hey? Let me read it. What the hey? Yacht the hey? Let me read it. Well, we've got this group text thing going on. You know how it is? There it is. Okay. Bonnie, she says, I've been praying for you, my good mentor and brother. What a blessing to hear stuff like that. We just checked in the apartment and kids are swimming in the pool now. They are happy and excited about the move. So that's always just awesome. I'll never forget the Crazy Drakes YouTube channel. I believe they're somewhere, Howell County, somewhere like that. And they made some mistakes, but they've been chronicling their adventures. So the main thing is that when people are coming in here, the more that you know about how to go about doing things, and this is kind of the subject of the thing tonight, how not necessarily on clearing land, but developing, a refuge, developing a farm and a refuge, okay? So how do you go about doing that? Are you starting off with bare land? Are you going to be able to start off with something, okay? So the point is that, as we go about doing these things, the more you can learn ahead of time. That's why everybody's studying prepping, but I would say that probably 90% of what you are going to need to know, there's just not really, you could find it out online if someone said, here's a list of 90% of the stuff you need to know, but there isn't a list like that. So basically you're faced with experience is the best teacher, hindsight's 20/20 and all that good stuff. I mean, the number of things that I've learned over the last, since 1980. Yes, I'd like to have it written out. One guy, a really brilliant man, I'm probably one of the most smartest people I've ever met in my life, met me and talked to me for about a half an hour, and this was like 15, 20 years ago. Talked to me for literally 20 minutes, and he said, you're a living liability. I was like, really? What do you mean? He says, you're a walking liability. He said, is everything you know written down somewhere? And I went, no, it's all in my head. And he goes, well, that's what I'm saying. If something happens to you, poof, there goes all that information. And there's a lot of people like that, but they're not terribly common. There's some, yes, compared to the general population of the world. Anyway, rambling, I know, tired, blah, 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 blah. So what else is new? We're in a race against time and eternity. It's not a 100-yard dash. It is an endurance race. It's a marathon. So deal with it. Roll with the blows. Keep going. Get knocked down, you get back up. Fall off the horse, get back on the horse. I did. I could be a quadriplegic right now because of a horse. But I did get back on one. Not going to say I'm going to do it a second time, but I did get back on one. A really nice horse. Don't ever get on an Arabian. I think they're insane. Anyway, rambling, tough cookies, tough bippies, whatever they say. Clearing land and whatnot. So what you see before you is some leaves. I'll go through pictures here. Tell me what you see. Ha 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 ha. two different colors, three different colors of leaves. Really big ones, medium-sized ones, three different sizes, medium-sized ones, and little ones. The big ones are one color, the medium-sized ones are a different color, and the little ones are red. There's more. Now these, note there's two different kind of leaves there. Okay. The ones on the left, you have 5 leaves. Some kind of vine, yeah, but there's 5 leaves. On the right, you have 3. 3. 3. 3. Green. You can see that's a vine growing into a building. That one's beautiful. Really pretty red leaves, aren't they? So, my point is that it's poison ivy or some kind of poison stuff. Leaves of 3, let them be. You do not. There's a really good video. This couple bought a schoolhouse. Warmed the cockles of my heart because we lived in the schoolhouse for 4 years. Now they bought a little bitty schoolhouse. It's huge to them, but ours was like 10,000 square feet or something like that. Full court gymnasium, full size stage, principal's office, safe. I mean, a walk-in vault safe, home ec room, big shop out in the big garage, for mechanic work. Anyway, we lived in a schoolhouse for 4 years. But in their situation, this guy, there was buku, just tons and tons and tons of poison ivy, and so he had on a full bore face, glasses, Tyvek suit, boots, pads, gloves, footed booties on the suit. So anyway, I'm tired and I need to drink more water. So anyway, you don't burn it. You burn it, the oils go into the air, and they can get on people, pets, everything. So, so he buried it. There was a swampy area nearby, and he took it and stuck it down in there so it could rot. I guess that was his. I don't know if that's a standard solution, but I do know you shouldn't burn it. So here we have, and I was out. What I was doing was I was out burning trash, and so with my left hand, I pulled. There's a bunch of stuff by the door. You go in the garage, and I pulled a bunch of it off, and then I was like, "Hey, leaves of 3, let them be." So that's probably some form of poisonous ivy stuff. Now, right there were some smaller leaves, like those red ones. Those red ones are really nice. So what I did was I grabbed the smallest. Did you see that? I don't know if I saw that. I wasn't really looking at the camera, so there you go. But there's 3 leaves of 3. So when you're clearing that, you need to be careful. Poison ivy, poison sumac, poison oak, at least three different kinds of poisonous snakes. There's all kinds of things to watch out for and be careful of. So that's a little teeny bubber, smallest one. There were some red ones, and there's maybe 3 on there. Probably going to be 3. So in the spring, and not that it's spring or anything, but get them little bitty ones and then chew it up. You don't necessarily have to swallow it, just in case it doesn't agree with you, shall we say. And get a little bit of under the tongue. So that's what I do with it. I've done that for 20 years or so. Now, was I allergic to poison ivy? I don't know. I never knew. But as far as I know, I can take it and rub it. I'll just do it just in case, I can't scientifically verify that this is poison ivy, but, as far as I know, that's leaves of 3, let them be. Here's my left forearm, and rub it on there. So, and I've always done that, and I've never had any reaction. Although one time I was smarting off, we were on a wild food walk, edible food. And so the owner of the property was up ahead of me, and I saw some poison ivy that I was pretty sure was poison ivy, and I grabbed a big bunch of it. And as I called him and said, "How's this stuff? Is this stuff good to eat?" And I had it in my mouth, and I was chewing out like that. And for the next 3 days, I had this like tangy, nothing swelled up, but after about the third day, I was like, you know what? My mouth feels funny, and I'm pretty sure that it's because of that poison ivy that I ate. I don't think I swallowed it, but I just stuffed some of a big bunch of it in my mouth. And I thought, hey, is this stuff good to eat? So I was just goofing around. Fortunately, it doesn't bother me pretty much. So anyway, there you go. Okay, now this is Homeopathy Plus, and I want to go to this because Rus toxicodendron is the poison ivy, genus and species. So this is a really cool article, homeopathyplus.com, the newsletter. And the story here that I want to deal with is this lady was, this morning while I was in the bathroom, you can read along, my 1-year-old decided to take the Palmolive dish detergent and paint our newly painted entranceway with it. Normally we use 7th generation, which is organic, clear, non-toxic, but we had the bright green other stuff because it cleans love bugs off of cars, and lately we've been inundated with them, and they'll ruin the paint on your car if you don't get them off. Anyway, my poor little one's right eye was almost completely swollen shut, fiery red, blotchy. Spent 15 minutes trying to rinse her eye at the kitchen sink, and it just was not getting any better. So I put her in the tub and poured water over it again and again for another 15 minutes, still not getting better. The baby was so upset, as was I. I thought about giving her a remedy, and I considered Apis mellifica, which is for bug bites and bee stings. Allium cepa, I don't know technically about that one. But she had just taken remedy earlier in the week for croup, and I did not want to interfere with anything that might still be working. So anyway, what she did was, and she describes the process, I'll read it, you can go back and reread this. I suddenly had an idea, and while my 10-year-old daughter watched the baby in the tub, I quickly made a 10x remedy by dropping 1 drop of the dish detergent into an 8-ounce glass of water. I gently stirred this and took 1 drop of this water and added it to a 16-ounce bottle of spring water after I'd emptied out about a quarter of it. I succussed it 10 times and lost my place. I succussed it 10 times and emptied all but a tiny bit. Okay, so she succussed it means she smacked it 10 times. Could have done it 100, but 10 times sufficient. And emptied all but a tiny bit, refilled it, and then succussed it again. I did this 10 times. That's that's taking it down a lot. I don't know. Or if, I don't even know if she knows what she was doing. To do that 10 times, you've run it through 10 times of a process. There was never enough of the original soap water to make soap bubbles, and after diluting it 10 times, I was confident it was safe to use as a rinse. Being a photographer, I always have my camera nearby, and I decided to take a before picture to see if it made any difference. I then poured about 1/2 of the solution over the baby's eye and forehead. She was not happy, but within 15 seconds, her eye opened and the redness went down a little. About 8 minutes later, the eye was completely open. The redness was much better. I took her out of the tub, and within 30 minutes, the eye was completely better, and baby was happy again. Hooray. Originally, I thought this was technically an isode because it was using the same substance that caused the problem, but as kind reader Patty informed me, it is truly homeopathic and the most similar. Patty pointed out 379.1 in chronic diseases, which states it does not remain the same once it is diluted and potentized. I did not give more Palmolive, but a remedy made from it. So anyway, she made her own homeopathic remedy. So you could do that. You could take some of this and repeat that process and make your own Rus Tox. So there you see the baby after 30 minutes of washing, rinsing, so that whatever, it didn't suddenly get better. 15 seconds after the remedy, bottom one there, 8 minutes after, and the bottom one here, 30 minutes. And then there's close-ups. That's pre-remedy, 15 seconds, 8 minutes, 30 minutes, totally recovered. So I've said before that we've seen a child get hit in the head with a brick. I mean, I remember this very clearly. 2, 3-year-olds, whatever, playing, and this one kid picked up a brick and went bam and hit this kid in the head, and it had the golf ball size knot. This little kid screaming in terror and pain, and we gave him arnica montana, which is for contusions, bruises, and he went from like that, just stopped, just within a second, and we watched in about 15 seconds. Watch the bruise go down. So this is the mom, Erica McPhee, blah 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 blah. So anyway, pretty cool. And her deal was that she started studying this and began a life-changing journey which led her to study homeopathy after her son's dramatic recovery using a homeopathic remedy. She had an autistic son, which totally changed her life, and she, just started doing things at home, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So anyway, just the idea is that we've got to get some things going. We've got to be starting to do some cooperation and working with each other, and just all the years I've put in, studying. I mean, it's really time to start doing stuff, and I knew that. I mean, I'm not doing anywhere near. I used to spend 8, 10, 12 hours, sitting at the computer. I have been 1,000 times at home. I would walk in the door of the house, the computer's right there, and I sat down, and I was so tired, I could have, at that point, fallen out of the chair. I was so tired and exhausted, and laid down on the concrete floor and gone to sleep all night. That's how tired I was. Once, click it, turn the computer on, I might be there 12 hours later, still studying, because I was on a trail, something, whether how to deal with whooping cough, or how to build a greenhouse, or how to build a spring house, or how to do, or energy, free energy, or aeroponics, or aquaponics, or whatever. Just so many different things out there that I've studied, and it's time that we need to start getting these done. So I've known for a long time that I've felt this for a long time. Day's going to come. I would like to have. I've said this before. I'll just say it again real quick. I would love to have a what do you call it? A center, some kind of a center, central location for people to come to and study and work at, and also for to have teams roving around, and that I would also probably have to go around and from farm to farm to farm to farm and set things up. So anyway, that's kind of what we're faced with, and I've seen Bill do it. My friend Bill. I mean, he took from 10 acres bare land, and it's now at this little paradise. So over the course of the years, I've been there with him, and a lot of the stuff I've done side by side with him. I was there. I helped him build the greenhouse. I helped him put up the sheep barn. I helped him build the chicken coop out of pallets and sawmill lumber, rough hewn slab cut off sawmill. It's gorgeous. One time I was over there, I was off through the woods, and I saw it, and I was like, oh, that is so beautiful. It just looks so cool through the woods, and I was like, what is that? And I'm like, oh, that's that goofy little chicken coop we bought, built, but it's so neat, lap-sided, and just has this quaint look about it that I just saw it from a distance. I just went, oh, that is so beautiful. Anyway, just so we need to get these, we need to get moving. We need to get working on stuff. We need to get some things done, and just be in prayer about it. Gosh. And more and more people are coming here. There's people coming here with more resources than people that some people that live here. People from California that have some stuff. Stuff meaning everything from tools to equipment to heavy equipment. I mean, to construction knowledge, know-how, computer techie know-how. You name it. Video work. Oh my gosh, that would be awesome. Somebody that can do video. Sure would love to hear from my Ozark journey to self-sufficiency, little girl. Moved down there in Arkansas. Haven't heard anything. I'll look for that tonight, see if she's got a video up. She made a video when she first got there, so praying everything's going good with her, because she does video work. That's why I brought her up. Not too far from other people that live down there near Harrison. So just a lot of good things going on. Be in prayer, please. Changes happening, people moving in, people I haven't heard from for a while. Mel, hello, Mel, please. So, be in prayer for people. So, thank you. I'm done for the night. I'm tired. So, buenos. Be careful with poison ivy. But in the spring, if you can get away with it, try it. This is true of all plants. Standard rule: you take the small leaf and nibble on it a little bit. Now, if it's poison or something, it should irritate you. You'd get a numbing thing or something. Then spit it out. Do that the next day. Do it the next day, a little bit bigger, and it may be edible. You know, if you see deer eating it, probably edible. Don't trust goats though. My friend has a lot of goats, or several goats, and he said the first thing they do when they get into a field is they will go and eat all the poison ivy. It's like drugs, you know, it's candy. And he says, and they'll eat it and then they'll go. Yeah. So he thinks he thinks they get some kind of a little high off of it, you know. So probably their nerves or something. But he said they'll go to it. They'll go right to it. They'll find poison ivy and they'll eat it. So goats are good for that. Let them eat it instead of you being messed with it. And they'll go as high up a tree as possible. So once the vine's cut, once they eat it and kill it, it's going to die. So it's going to come down eventually, no matter how high up it is. That would go for poison oak, sumac, and everything else. So anyway, that's my little rambling rant and talk from the heart for tonight. So sorry about that and all that good stuff. I'm sure there's other things I'd love to say, but I'm not all here, not like I ever am. So let's get on it. Let's get on. We'll help each other work together. Let's go. All right. Thanks. Bye-bye. See ya. This is Jerry Diamond. If you're listening to this, you are the remnant.